All right, so we probably got you a little hungry this morning, Christian. So sorry about that. But let's talk some stocks. Let's talk some trades. What have you been watching? What have you been trading?
Gotcha. Well, I came in today. Obviously, I think last time we spoke, I was on a vacation, chilling a little bit, focusing more on markets. This time I decided to do some roll up the sleeves and do some a little stock of palooza here. So I brought a handful of stocks that we could look at, stocks that might be on the verge of breaking out or breaking down that your listeners might want to throw on the radar, starting with Ford, ticker symbol F. Nice little, I've got a lot of students and members that don't necessarily like the NVIDIAs and SMCIs that we trade, or the Teslas, and like that kind of nice, slower moving, easy. And Ford has made it as clear as possible here that, hey, if I can get through that 13, or if I break below that 12, you probably have an opportunity for a buck, right? Maybe a buck and a half. Especially if you get to that 13, I think the high maybe takes you the next range, the next level up might take you around 14 and a half. But that 13 is such a great little breakout point. If you could get through it, I think and even trading options, if you look at some of the options there, they're relatively inexpensive. So we threw this on our radar just this week.
Yeah, GM's been
we talked about it yesterday.
Yep.
Like just seeing the same setup, it just looks sleepy and it looks like it wants to go here too. And again, not just because they look like they want to go doesn't mean it's going to go, but it starts getting up over that 13. I'm with you, Christian. I think it actually looks pretty good from a trading perspective.
Yeah, very much. And I like things that are very crystal clear like that. What I try to do is clean out some of the clutter and make the decision-making process at least easy so you can focus on the hard part, right? Like the risk management, the discipline, the emotion, all those things. As I was like, say, hey, look, I can't get through 13, oh, look at me, I got through 13. I think I'm going to go long, right? So another one along that line would be JetBlue.
JetBlue, now that's
ABLU.
Check out that little.
I know this sets up not bad.
Look at that little 750 resistance up there.
Is Uncle Carl in here? Joel, was Uncle Carl in here?
I don't know what he's been doing. I
thought he was. AB, Christian, I thought Uncle Carl recently took a stake in this, didn't he? Somebody did. Who was it? Chat knows.
Portnoy. It was Portnoy.
No, that wasn't. No, I don't know if Portnoy's in there, but actual.
He was in Save. He bought Save.
Portnoy might be in there, but I thought Uncle Carl got in here. Did he get down and dirty in this? Sorry, just going on a tangent here. I think he did.
Didn't Carl Icahn already have a big story where he tried to invest in an airline?
Elon says yes in the chat. I'm pretty sure Uncle Carl's in here.
Elon Musk? Let's see here. Carl Icahn.
We're just verifying.
We're getting a couple yeses. So before we get back
he's in. Okay, so Christian, you got Uncle Carl on your side here too. That's solid.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I'll let the audience decide that. But yeah, that was another one that I kind of popped up. Somebody asked me about American Airlines, and I remember seeing that chart on JetBlue. I'm like, JetBlue looks pretty straightforward. Little problem at 750. Pop through there, get yourself a nice little $1 and a half run over the coming weeks or such. Especially with the market apparently never going down again. So I thought that set up pretty well.
Before we get back to the stock of Palooza, Christian, we should mention, if you guys want to get some option trade call outs from Christian, scan that QR code in the bottom of the screen. I'll also throw the link in the chat. Christian, what can people who sign up for this free lotto trade a week, what do they get?
We start with just a nice little like a trading education, just like a training of what that is about. And what the corresponding service comes with. It's intended to be, and I think we may have talked about this before, more of like a fun type service. It's tended to be, hey, I've had a good week. I've got a few extra dollars. Wouldn't mind taking a shot from a Thursday going into Friday. These are the ones where we aim for these very, very big winners. But of course, more often than not, if not always, the entire amount of capital is at risk there when you only have that one day. And if we're trying to get like a nice $3, $5, $10 pop from a Thursday going into Friday, and we go 3, 5, 10 the other direction, you pretty much threw that money on red and lost. What we're trying to do is, throw it on red and win. And so it's supposed to be fun. It's definitely not an investment. It's not something where you're kind of growing wealth. We do our fair share. We profit, but It's definitely not necessarily for the faint of heart that are looking for that fundamental story. But
mainly options, right? You're talking mainly options plays
Yes.
on these. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was asked in the chat. Okay.
You bet.
All right, let's get back to the Stockapalooza. We talked JetBlue, we talked Ford. What's next on the list, Christian?
Well, let's look at a couple on the flip side. Let's take a look at Biogen, BIIB, seeming to having a real tough time getting off this 215 level at the bottom.
Yeah.
And with a market that has been nonstop for 5 months, you can see right up there, upper right-hand corner, just keeps coming down there, and sure looks like the basic formation of a continuation head and shoulders there possibly as well. But bottom line is, I would say whatever's above the level is not near as important as the level itself. So if we break below that 215 area, I would sure think that 200 at minimum is coming on this stock.
This is the one that's in the Alzheimer business, right?
Yes.
I always forget.
Yeah. Yes, it's got a lot of other drugs there too, but the Alzheimer's stock is one of their main, or Alzheimer's drug is one of their main reasons the stock got the big pop a couple of years ago. PE is 14. Like, I mean, this stock has been hated for a long time. Again, so many of these big major, say biotech companies or major pharma have dropped the ball on weight loss. And if you're not in the weight loss, they've been throwing you out. And Biogen, I don't even think they're on the radar. Like, Biogen should be one that should go buy Viking. Try to get back on the radar here, but that's a side note. I agree with Christian here. I'm actually long the stock. I've had it for like 20 years in my long-term portfolio. It's been okay for 20 years, but I tell you, for the last 10, it's sucked. So I'm kind of with you here, talking against my book here, but it does look like it's ready to break down.
Yeah, and it provides a nice little short-term opportunity for those that are looking for that swing trade type of, setup. Again, it seems like the most obvious target you can see in the monthly there. It seems like the most obvious target on the way down would be 200. You can grab yourself a nice little 15-point drop and call it a wrap. So we kind of liked the setup. Even worse, maybe possibly looking than this is HIMX. Been sitting on top, and you'll see here pretty good. Gosh, I think what was it? Several months. You can see sitting right on top of this like 5.25 area, and certainly wouldn't get short this yet or anything. But when you put it in context of a market that has done nothing but go up, right, for this period of time, it kind of makes you wonder how much of a market pullback or decline would it take to bring that thing below that 5.25, right? So take out that 5.25, I would think no less than $4 is coming, but been stuck there for a while. So you could also look at this and say, I'm going to go long at 5.25 if you wanted, but I prefer to, kind of maybe focus on the stocks that are keeping up with the market, not the ones that are struggling to do so. But this seemed like a pretty straightforward setup as well.
All right. Do we have any other ones to the short side? Are we going back long here?
I got one that is pick your poison, Las Vegas Sands.
Oh,
LVS.
you can gamble on this one.
Yeah, take a look at the nice little descending little triangle we got here lately. Look at that cute little thing sitting on top of 50.
Yep.
All right. Been testing that now for, about 2 months, just sitting on 50. And you got a nice little trend line running off top of your 3 peaks up there. So we're watching this. I think our trend line right now sits in the general 52.5 area. So if the stock can kind of, pick up its feet and get going, break up through that top side, call it again 52-ish, then we might look at a long play. But if it were to break down, wind looks pretty good too, pretty good setup there as well. But a failure to hold 50 would lead us to believe, like you can see that same type of trend line run across the top, very similar stuff there. But
Las Vegas Sands getting a buy rating this morning from Mizuho. They're seeing strength in Macau, and they are buy rating with a $70 price target here. So it's getting a little bit of love. It's up about 50 cents in the pre-market just on that Mizuho note.
Nice. But yeah, so we'll kind of sit back and wait and see which way this thing breaks, and that was going to be our play on this.
All right, well, Christian, we got a couple minutes left if you have any more.
I just have one question for him, Christian. We were just talking, and I know you've done some biotechs in the past, and we're looking at this Viking Therapeutics, and in contrast to Legan, who has a stake in it, doesn't really seem to move lockstep. Do you have a reason for that? Is that something you followed at all, or are we just going to have to let the price action play out for itself?
Well, that's typically how I would handle it, just let the price action play itself out. I know for me, everything's about when I look to trade it's so when new, say, members or students come under the fold, it's very easy for me to put up a chart and I've already got the lines drawn and, oh my gosh, that is so perfect. And that's exactly, I understand that too. And then what a member or student will tend to do is then go out and look at some other stocks like, wow, I don't see those things. Exactly. So what I tend to encourage everyone to do is go find, if you want to trade with that kind of very simple approach, break down, break out, nice little consolidations, then what you have to do is actually seek those out. So for example, it's not a coincidence that all 5 of those stocks that we looked at today have these perfect little, breakdown and breakout barriers, right? That's why I picked them. So for me, it's the same thing, regardless of, you get stocks. It's kind of like SMCI has been in the news a lot, but if I look at it and I can't find that simple way to kind of say, all right, this is exactly what I would do on there, then I tend to shy away from it. So although I know this has been in the news a lot, it's been a little bit harder for us to find where we would or would not want to, kind of grab a hold of it. So we, follow it, meaning that it comes up a lot in our rooms and stuff like that. But trading it, we have not done.
All right, Christian. Well, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you again. I'm glad we caught you this time while you're not, busy on vacation. How was it, by the way? You were down in Florida, right?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was 80 the whole time. Not much of a drop of rain. Those little lizards that are running around everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. My daughters, we've been going down there for 6-7 years now. My 2 daughters try to catch those every time, never do. But my oldest, who's 11, finally caught one this time. And we kept it with us for 4 days.
Wow.
It was your pet.
Did you get her a net or something? Or was she just using her hands?
She's very determined. She was using her hands.
Quick.
She went straight head first, like Homer Simpson into the bushes, to get that thing. And he came out. And the funny thing is it became somewhat domesticated. By day 3, it was just right up here on her shoulder, and she'd be.
Oh my gosh!
She had it in her hand, and at one point, I got a picture where it rolled over on its back like it wanted its belly rubbed. So I couldn't believe it. I was like, "There's just no way this is," But you can imagine what happened when I told her we were not taking that back on the plane.
Oh, man. Had to have a catch.
But it was good. It was a good.
You could have gotten
nice
it through security. I mean, you could have gotten it.
Oh yeah, they love that.
Yeah.
All right, Christian. Well, again, thanks again. I'll drop that link in the chat if you guys want to get some more options trades from Christian. We'll catch up soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, Christian, and good luck on the trades.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.